I love that today is not about the past, it's about going forward. But I do want to just say, I really think I had one of the last great rides in newspapers. I did sort of what a lot of us have done in this room. I started off small, worked at NPR affiliate, then went to the Bergen Record, just stared across the river all the time, wanted to get to the Daily News, finally did, thanks to Jim Wilsey, and covered cops, courts, and eventually got to do some foreign reporting too. Covered the first World Trade Center bombing, which led to a career of sort of working in the Middle East. Had to leave the news and went to the Globe, the Boston Globe, my hometown. It's the newspaper I wanted to work in my whole life because of the sports page, which is still the greatest in the world. And I love the Globe, and I am sad to see what's happened, which is after giving me an incredible opportunity for 10 years to work abroad, I came home, they killed the foreign desks. We no longer have any foreign reporting. We don't even have a foreign editor. So, enough sad news, but that's where I come from. Out of that sadness, I had a Nieman year, which gave me a year to actually think. Nieman Fellowship at Harvard, sort of a place for wounded war correspondents to recover for a bit. And to step back and think for a minute allowed me to see that I really wanted to go into the newsroom and try to affect change from within. One of the things that I couldn't do at the Boston Globe is affect change from within. It is sclerotic. It is an environment that doesn't really allow for an entrepreneurial spirit. If you come in with an idea, it's immediately questionable. What the hell are you doing thinking about business models? Just keep reporting. Why are you thinking forward? We have editors who do that, not reporters. And I think that's a real thing going forward we need to think about. Creating environments where people in the newsroom are part of the process of pushing forward. What I've done is started the idea for reinvigorating international news. We all know this story. Philadelphia Inquirer, Baltimore Sun, Boston Globe have all killed their foreign staffs. That's the place where market conditions begin to really affect our news content. For people like me who love to read the Globe, it's pretty hard to understand the world from the Globe these days. I've joked with friends that they ought to maybe change the name to 495, which is the highway belt that goes around the suburbs of Boston. We still have great institutions that do that for us, NPR, the New York Times, others. But we're missing that local voice, that feeling of having a correspondent who's from your community, who's gone off to a complicated place like Jerusalem or Pakistan and tried to bring the story home for you. That's where we see opportunity. Trying to unleash storytellers to go out and tell stories. That's where we see our strength. So if the idea here is to go to your strengths, that's what we want to do. We're hiring 70 correspondents in 53 countries. What is unique, and it shouldn't be, is that they actually live in the country about which they write. We're looking to basically create a new sort of core of foreign correspondents who go out and you take the old-fashioned super stringer model and you write it large. And you say, here's a video camera, do your best with it, but what we really want are great stories, well-crafted, short, 600 to 800 word pieces. Wilsey and John Yem, if he's here, would laugh very hard that I'm going to be editing 600 to 800 word pieces. But I will be doing my best to do that, and we are trying to say, we want well-crafted pieces once a week, but then we're creating an opportunity to have news as process through what we call a reporter's notebook, which was one of my favorite things to do in every newspaper I've ever worked. You'd go off on a wild assignment and you'd get to write these notebooks about what you really saw on the road as opposed to what fit inside an article. We have that on every country page. So we have 53 country pages where we have a reporter's notebook that is a living, breathing, working document where you just hit it every chance you get. If you're sitting down in a cafe, hit us with something you saw that day from the place where you live. Tell us stories. Even if they're short stories that don't merit an entire article, come to us with stories. How am I doing? 2 minutes? Okay. What we're trying to do is say, we think the American public is dramatically underserved in international news. With great respect for the Daily Telegraph, I have many friends who work there. I love the paper. But I think as an American news consumer, I am so tired of cricket when I'm trying to find out World News. I love the BBC. It might be, but we got something called baseball here that we bore the world with, but that we happen to love. And I really think that what we're trying to do is say, we need an American voice for foreign news. Not jingoism, not nationalism, not Fox News, but where is an American voice for storytelling in international news? That's what we want to do. Our goals, briefly, are 600,000 uniques in our first year. We launched January 12th. By January 12th, 2010, our goal is 600,000 uniques per month. We want to become a place you can go to if you want to understand some stories in the world, if you want to try to put the world together. We also have a goal of developing 3 revenue streams, and I'll get into those later because I don't think we have time. But in a nutshell, they are advertising, of course, and we could talk in detail about how we're going to try to do that, but also a syndication model that's really emerging, especially as newspapers begin to sort of look for other places for content out there in the world. We want to try to see if we can't be a very affordable option there for that. We also have a model for an inner circle, which is to take the idea of community and then make it a little bit more intimate. For those in a corporate structure or NGOs, you would pay for that. In a college setting, we will give a bulk and it will be very affordable, or you can get it through a sort of awards program like a frequent flyer card. If you stay on our site, if you read our stories, if you love what we're doing and you prove that to us through your clicks, we will bring you into that inner circle for premium content. That's the model. We hope it works. January 12th, 2009 is the start.